Guys, so welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I do a lot of cooking, family type videos, kind of just sharing real life things. I don't have a perfect clean home, and I have messes. I have laundry piled up everywhere, and we eat out a lot sometimes. So I've gotten into making these what's for dinner videos. They're kind of fun. I've actually gotten really I've gotten an enjoyment of watching other people make them because it helps give you a lot more ideas. So if you like these type of videos, subscribe and let's get started for this week. All right, so tonight we're having chicken Alfredo, which is for Zach's birthday. It's his 20th birthday. Today is Monday, so I'm starting with the salad. We have four people coming over to dinner, so there'll be 9 of us. So I'm gonna do the salad and the fixins, and I'm gonna get my chicken out. I'm gonna do I was gonna grill it, but it's raining. I'm gonna do the chicken in the air fryer, and then I do a homemade Alfredo sauce. It shouldn't take long. I've got garlic bread downstairs, and then we got the cake that I've got in the fridge. So start off with the salad. I don't need to show y'all how to cut up a salad. Y'all know how to do this. So I have my chicken on my cutting board, and I'm gonna just let it sit here for a couple minutes. It is a tad bit frozen still, whatever, it will be fine. But I'm just going to just let it sit, and then I'm gonna cook them a couple at a time in the air fryer. I don't want to have to fry them on the stove because it gets grease everywhere. The air fryer is easier, so I will do that a little bit at a time, and then I'm gonna get the water boiling, and then I'll make my Alfredo sauce. It's gonna get for now, so I'm just gonna take this downstairs, let it sit in the fridge, and finish doing everything else. I've got chicken broth. I do the little cubes. I have that going in here, my water for my noodles going, and then I add heavy cream cheese, Parmesan cheese kind of stuff, and then just let it sit and marry. Delicious. All right, so I have my chicken stock. Normally, when it's not this many people, I saute my chicken in here. I'll take it out, and then I will do all this with like the chicken juices in the bottom of the pan. But I don't want to sit here and saute that much chicken. So I've got that in there. I'm gonna add entire block of cream cheese, and then I'm just gonna let that melt. Get all creamy. Got the lazy way. I normally would cut it up, but this will be fine. And then once this melts, then I'll add the heavy cream, and I have the evaporated milk just in case I need it. You can use regular milk, just something to thin it out if it gets too thick. We have lactose-free milk, so I don't want to use that. So I'm just gonna let this sit and marry for a little bit. I'll probably add some pepper, some Italian seasoning, just to kind of let it kind of simmer together. All right, I'm gonna add my heavy cream. I always check the date, July 13th, okay. I don't have like a recipe for this. Like, I made this homemade a couple years ago, and it turned out so good, and now I just do it. But it's just cream cheese, heavy cream, and like Parmesan cheese. I have like this Italian style cream cheese I might add, but I finally got smart and got this large thing of Parmesan because my kids eat so much of it. Alright. I'm using a whisk because I needed to break up the clumps from the cream cheese. But I'm just gonna let it sit. I got it on low. I might add some more heavy cream because I want it to be thicker. And alright, so it's just gonna sit. This is not as thick as I like it, but it's just gotten started. So I'm just gonna let it sit on a very low temperature. You do not want this to like boil because it will scorch. I just got it down because it freaked me out. It will scorch on the bottom and then it will be disgusting. So you just want it to kind of like simmer for a little bit, and then you'll have a very beautiful sauce. And then you just taste it as you go. So I have my whisk because you can see a little bit of the clumps on my spoon. So once this kind of heats up, I will come back and whisk it a little bit more, but the lumps are fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. That's it, it's already getting nice and thick. And now I'm just going to cook my noodles. I got my salad done, garlic bread going in soon. Quick, delicious chicken Alfredo. So all my chicken is done. I made a lot of chicken. So I'm just going to cut these up into strips, and I'm going to put not all of it, but a majority of it into my sauce. And my sauce is so much thicker. And then you'll just let it sit in the sauce, and the chicken will add a lot of flavor to your sauce that already has the flavor. And then of course you just fix whatever noodles you want. I have 3 pounds of fettuccine. Normally we would do 2 and then have leftovers, but now we're gonna have 9 people, so hopefully we'll have some leftovers. And then I have my garlic bread in the oven, and so right now I'm just unloading the dishwasher so I can load it and have everything cleaned up. But dinner will be ready, and I might not be able to show, I'll try to show up when everybody gets here when it's time to eat, but it's pretty much done. So tonight I'm gonna make a quiche. I've never made a quiche before. I always bought this growing up at Sam's. They had these little mini quiches. I think they still have them, but they're just like bite-sized ones, and they're delicious. So I'm gonna give this a try. This is white cheddar bacon. I don't have white cheese. I forgot to buy it. So I've just got a mixture of regular cheese, Italian cheese, and Mexican cheese. Cheese is good cheese no matter what. So we got the cheese, eggs, milk. I'm gonna cook up some bacon. I have my pie crust, which I'm gonna just let it come to room temperature while I am cooking up my bacon. It does say green onion. I totally forgot green onion, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of an onion, and I'm gonna cook it the same time with the bacon, so it kind of just, it doesn't have like that complete raw onion flavor. But yeah, and then we're gonna have some roasted broccoli on the side. So I wanted to share this really quickly. I don't know if anybody else has seen this, but I thought it was pretty genius. I saw it on Instagram or TikTok. I don't know where I saw it. But when you're straining like grease out of like bacon or your hamburger meat or whatever you're cooking, I normally do like a plate, and then I put, you know, the strainer in there, and then I clean the plate later on. Well, I just got tired doing that. Once I saw this was genius. So you strain it in here, you wait until it cools down, and then you just ball it up, put it in your trash. Done. You don't have to have your grease down your drain, and you don't have to clean a bowl. I know you're wasting aluminum foil, but it's almost worth it. All right, so I'm gonna do my broccoli. My quiche is getting close. So we just have a couple heads of broccoli, and I'm gonna do it in my air fryer. And then, so I'm just gonna put some olive oil. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and I might sprinkle some cheese on there. But I'm gonna do this and just let it sit and let it absorb the oil and the salt and the balsamic vinegar while my air fryer is like, I'm cleaning it out. But I'm gonna do that, and then we will be ready to eat in just a couple minutes. All right, This took exactly 45 minutes. I'm gonna let it cool. It is no longer jiggling in the center, so this will probably deflate, I'm guessing. So I'm just gonna let it cool. I've got my balsamic Brussels sprouts, broccoli, which are really good by themselves. So if you eat them raw, that's actually really good. So I'm just gonna leave them in here so they stay warm, but we're just gonna let this sit for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll cut it. So tonight we're gonna have Salisbury steak over baked potatoes. So normally I would have like mashed potatoes. Do not feel like fixing mashed potatoes. So I'm gonna put these in the microwave and get them started early. So I'm gonna like stab them with a fork, probably put them in there for like 7 minutes or so. And then I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil, put some olive oil, some salt on it. And because I like to eat the skin on my potato because it's super good when it's like crispy and like the salt on there. And then I'll put it in the oven. And then after those get in the oven for a little bit, I will start off making the Salisbury steak, but I'm gonna do it in like meatballs, like little things instead of big patties. And then we can have the gravy and the mixture, pour it all over top of the potatoes. It's just like, you know, I think it's gonna be delicious. Super excited. And then dessert, we're gonna have strawberry shortcake. I had ran to the store to grab something for breakfast for tomorrow, and they had these on sale for $1. So I grabbed these and a pack of strawberries and some whipped cream so we can have dessert. So I'm gonna get started, oh excuse me, I got the hiccups, on the potatoes first, and then we'll do the little meatballs. In here, my kids are here. I did add just a tad bit of oatmeal. That's how I do my meatloaf. But because the egg, it was so much egg compared to like how much meat it was. So I added a little bit of oatmeal so that it would help absorb that, and it helps absorb the fat in the meat. So I'm gonna let these go, and then I'm gonna start cutting up my mushrooms and onions. Alright, so I have my meatballs. I turned them one time, and then I have spaced them around the outside. I just dumped some onions and mushrooms on top, salt and pepper. I'm gonna put the lid on because I really don't want it to get any color. I just want them to kind of like wilt down and cook. And then once that's done that for a couple minutes, then we'll add the onion soup mix, beef broth, and then let it simmer for a little bit. Alright, so I put the onion soup mix, the beef broth, and I have a little bit in here, and I put like a teaspoon of cornstarch to help thicken up the gravy. And then I'm just gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be able to eat.
I don't want to eat.
Alright, dinner was super delicious. So now we're gonna get ready to do dessert. So I have the shortcakes right here, and then I've seen other people do this completely different, but the way that I do it is I dice the strawberries, put them in a Ziploc bag, and I coat them in sugar, and then I just like squish it with my hands, and I let it sit for probably like 30 minutes, and it creates its own little strawberry juice. So then you can scoop that out, put it over top of your little shortcakes, and then top it with whipped cream. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Alright, so it's been in the fridge, I don't even know how long at this point. But
These are super delicious.
put it in a bowl. So we put it in the bowl. Pretty sure everybody knows about this. And then you just scoop out some strawberries. This will be for Daddy, he doesn't like strawberries so much. And then we put some topping on there. Look at that, that's gross.
It's delicious.
Well, you don't put your fingers in there. Make it all fluffy.
Stuffy as a pillow.
Oh darn, not in the middle.
Fluffy as a pillow.
There you go.
Fluffy as a
One
pillow.
of our favorite easy summer desserts. Take it to daddy.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bonus. I know this is for dinner, but this is after dinner. I just loaded the dishwasher, cleaned up from dinner and dessert. So now I'm getting ready for breakfast. So a while ago, I wish it showed how long ago I found this, but I've been making this recipe for quite a while. It's overnight waffles, absolute best recipe ever. If you've never had yeast waffles, they're to die for. They're so good. So we've had like sourdough waffles. I think that's what they were called, like when I was pregnant with Noah, I believe, and that was coming on 11 years. During the summer, we went to a friend's house and they made them and they were delicious. They had like a sourdough starter, so good. I don't want to have a sourdough starter because that's just too much temptation for me. So I found these and they are wonderful. So you do it the night before. And so this is your ingredients: eggs, baking soda, flour, sugar, salt, yeast, butter, milk, and water. The eggs and baking soda you do in the morning right before you start fixing them. So right now I'm going to mix, and I do a double batch because I can use it for 2 days. Like it lasts us for 2 days. So I'll do Saturday and Sunday for waffles. So it's perfect for the weekend. So right now I'm just going to take the milk and the butter and put it in a saucepan. You just heat it up to kind of melt the butter and then get the milk up to temperature, and then you mix everything else into a large container because the yeast activates, and I've had it to where it's like busted out of the container and it went all over the counter. So I learned a hard way. So I'm gonna get all this together. I'll definitely put this link in the description, but I'm gonna get some waffles going. Flour mixture, flour, yeast, sugar, and salt. And then I have the super large container that has a top right there. Then here's my milk and butter mixture, which you do not want it boiling. You only want it warm to melt the butter because you don't want to kill the yeast. So I've got it all in here. All right, now slowly mix that up.
Wow.
Okay, so I didn't add the water. So because I'm doubling it, you'll see the recipe, but I did 1 cup of water. So this is, you can see how like very liquidy. It's not like a pancake mix or normal like cake mix kind of consistency. It's pretty thin. So this is what it will look like when you go to bed. Oh gosh, I'm getting stuff everywhere. And once you put the lid on it, it's gonna rise up all night long. You do leave it on your counter. If you don't have a lid, just put plastic wrap on there, but you're just gonna leave it out all night long. All right, so it is 10 o'clock the next morning, way later than we normally eat. But you can see, how different it looks. That is the yeast, you know, building up right there. So all I have to do now is add in my eggs and then the baking soda. Since I'm doubling the recipe, this is all doubled, but I will put up the link in the description. Then it's 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I try to sprinkle it around. All right, so now I'm just gonna mix this, and then all you have to do is, once it's mixed, and you just make your waffles. And I usually cut my oven on warm or like a really low temperature so I can put them in there as I make them. And then we're gonna have eggs and bacon to go with it. Maybe. It's so late at this point. It's gonna be like a brunch, but there you go. So I'll show you what they look like once they're all done. Tonight is going to be relatively simple. We're going to have grilled chicken and then salads. I think adding this to like your regular weekly menu is a good idea because you can get rid of a lot of your extra vegetables. So like tomorrow on Sunday, I always go to the grocery store. So doing salad night will get rid of all the extra veggies that you haven't eaten yet so that you can get all fresh ones instead of throwing them away. I have a little bit of bacon. I think I'm going to put this on the grill. I have like this little grilling pad thing on there. I don't know what it's called, from Pamper Chef. But I'm just going to cut the chicken in half. Oh, there's chicken thighs. Didn't know that. But and then put some seasoning on them. I just look through my cabinet and get whatever I can find. And then I just lay it all out and we can all just build a salad however we want to. So I'm going to get the chicken on the grill. All right, easy peasy. I cut up the vegetables with my container of lettuce I always have. And then I'm just going to cut the chicken. That's it. Dinner's super quick tonight. All right, so tonight is, well, today's Father's Day. So my husband requested lasagna rolls for dinner with meat sauce. We never have meat in our lasagna, but it's Father's Day. And what sucks is I just got back from a store. I told myself to buy thawed out meat so I wouldn't have to worry about it, and I didn't. I bought frozen. So I'm gonna put this in my pressure cooker and like let it go for a couple minutes and see if that will help. But I'm gonna do, I normally do lasagna rolls. I could not find any lasagna in the store, so I got manicotti. Pretty much the same thing. So I'm gonna get the noodles going, and then we've got to do the sauce, which I'm just gonna put this in the pressure cooker, and then we'll have our ricotta mixture that I do. Oh, I gotta get all the cheese out. I do ricotta, egg, some cheese, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, garlic, and yeah, that's what I do. And I got garlic bread, and we have salad. So I'm gonna get started on the noodles, and then I'll show you how I make my filling, and then we'll put the sauce together. Okay. So I'm gonna give this a try. I have my semi-frozen meat, water, sealed. Let's see. I'm gonna do 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Oh my gosh, I feel like that's, I just need it to be thawed. All right, I'll look at my sign. I made this with my Cricut. It was like the first thing that I made. My husband won't let me take it anywhere where his parents will be. I was like, why not? So if anybody wants one of these for your Instant Pots or your pressure cookers, let me know. I might start selling those. So anyway, that's in. So now I'm gonna make my ricotta filling, and then I'm gonna put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll cut the end off of it. And then once the noodle thing, these manicottis are done, then I'll use this to fill in each side. So let's get the filling done.
You got to let it go. 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 I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to let go, go. I'm ready to let go.
Okay. It didn't, oop, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That didn't do it, but it helped a little bit. So I'm able to break it up. But I am just gonna put it on saute. I drained the little bit of water that was in there. And then once it actually cooks up and it's cooked, then I'll add my sauces in and seasonings. I'm gonna save like a half of a cup to put on the bottom of my dish. And then the rest will get poured over top.
You got to let it go.
Tons of sauce. My pan is just a tad bit small, but I didn't want to have just a quarter cup or cup of sauce randomly. But I'm just going to cover it with cheese. I have the Italian blend and then some mozzarella. And then I'm just going to bake it uncovered for, I don't know, 20-30 minutes. The noodles are a little, okay, stop. undone. I was kind of frustrated when I stirred them. They felt like they were done, but so the sauce hopefully will absorb into the noodles too. So there we go. So now I'm just gonna bake this at 425, just until it's nice and bubbly. All right, so I just took the lasagna out. I think it was in there for about 20 minutes, maybe around that, but it was nice and bubbly. You can see the top has gotten a nice little brown color to it. So I'm just gonna let it sit and cool just a tad so that it can kind of like soak up more of the sauce. So, and my bread is still going, so we got a good 10 minutes.